Hi guys, this is Jake from J&G, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the Smashing Pumpkins' new album, which is called Cyr, I think, Cyr. And I wanted to talk about it because it came out last Friday, which was the 27th of November, and it's a really good album, and I was just really impressed by it. So yeah. It's a double album, so I think it's their third double album, because there was one in 2001, and of course Melancholy, Infinite Sadness as well. So, but yeah, I mean it was kind of because a couple of years ago now they released an album called Shiny Oh So Bright. It was longer than that, but that's like a short version of the album's title, and it was good, but it was kind of very short, very compact, but consistent, and the sort of songs were very catchy and sounded really good. So that was kind of a really enjoyable record in its own way. But of course it was only about 30 minutes. So I think for this one they kind of went the opposite route, and it's a really substantial piece of work, as you might expect from a double album. But it's about an hour and 12 minutes. Which is still good for listening for me, because I think I couldn't listen to say I couldn't listen to because I really enjoy Melancholy in the Infinite Sadness. I'm a big fan of that record, but it's kind of I couldn't listen to it in its entirety in one sitting, because it's over 2 hours, I think. So yeah, but it's kind of it's just a really good record. And I think one of the things that's kind of most noticeable, especially for long-time Smashing Pumpkins fans, or just people who have heard, the past records, is that the sound's totally different. And when I was listening to it, I don't really think of the record as an indie rock record. I think of it more as a sort of almost like a dance record, really. Just in the fact that it's got a lot of synth and a lot of, But I think that might conjure up this sort of idea of 80s stuff that you don't really like, but actually it's really catchy and just really, really well done. And I think, I think one of the first singles to come out for the album, which is a really good track actually, is the title track. So Cyr is the title track, and it's really catchy. It's got this kind of just this real sort of funkiness about it, and just kind of good sort of dance music, really. And it's just fantastic, and it starts off really strong, which is The Colour of Your Love. That's the first song. And just throughout, I was really, really surprised by just how good it was. Because it's not just a good record, but I think for me, and I think this might be a bit of a controversial statement, because I'm a really big fan of Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, but I think with this record, I actually think it's more consistent than that album. I think it's actually a better album overall than that. Which for me is saying a lot, because I think it's a fantastic record, Melancholy and Infinite Sadness. I just think this album's so good, and that's not to say that Melancholy doesn't have some its best moments might still maybe slightly outpace the best moments on this. Its very best moments, like Tonight, or To Forgive or something. But actually, the songs on this match even some of the best songs on Melancholy. There's some phenomenal songs on this with just brilliant pop sensibility and just really exciting songs, and some of them are beautiful, some of them are more kind of some of them are more kind of really make you want to dance and stuff, and they're a little bit heavier, but it's just so good. And as well, because I think there's this idea that when bands really change tact and actually go into a different format, You know, whether it be, I know Bob Dylan's not really a band, but people always mention, you know, when he went electric, people got really annoyed. Or what's another example? There's a lot of people who love Radiohead's records after OK Computer. Like, I'm a big fan of Amnesiac. I think that's a brilliant record, but some people kind of went off after OK Computer because of the fact they changed their format. But I think with this, what they give you is something that is still very accessible, but that doesn't compromise its musical quality. It doesn't compromise its kind of catchiness at all. It's, you know, another track I'm thinking of is a track called Haunted, which is later on in the album. But that's just fantastic. And there's another highlight would be one called, I think there's one, that's it, Dulce in E, I think. That's a beautiful song. But yeah, there's some really, really good songs on this record. And Save Your Tears as well, that's a song. That's really good. So yeah, just really good songs. And, you know, across the record, I know a lot of Smashing Pumpkins fans will really like the kind of heavy guitar that's laid down by James Ehart and Billy Corgan, depending on what record and songs you're listening to. But they're, you know, like, the guitar, heavy guitar is not completely absent, but you'll notice there's a lot less guitar on this record because it is a departure from the traditional indie rock sound. And, you know, I mean, I was surprised when I started listening to it because I did expect indie rock, but like, don't be disheartened by the fact that it's changed at all, because actually I think by going a different route, by changing what their style and their tact, I think they've created something really special and really unique, yeah, just something that completely knocked my socks off, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, it's a fantastic record. And something as well I'll kind of note is that because I mean, you know, the whenever Darcy Rexy, well, when she was in the band, I think that's probably going back to very start of the 2000s. I think she left early 2000s, early noughties, but something that I don't think was in, and I might be wrong, you can correct me on this if I'm wrong in the comments or whatever, but I kind of don't remember her doing that many backing vocals with Billy Corgan. Like, she was always fantastic at playing bass, but I just don't remember the backing vocals being too much of a thing on some of the past records. Whereas in this, a kind of new thing is the fact that the woman who's singing on this record, and I think she might be a new band member, who's come in, but I think she'll probably stay for tours and the next records and stuff. She's just a really good new member of the band, in the sense that with Billy Corgan's voice, they're able to create a harmony that, you know, the kind of thing that works so well with like the Pixies and stuff. Is that those harmonies, and I think by having Billy's voice and her voice, they're able to get a just a sort of different layer of just able to reach different kind of layers of a melody, and it's just really, really nice. A really good record. You know, all members of the bands are firing on all cylinders in terms of what I've heard from their playing. I think it's Jimmy Chamberlain is on drums, and of course he's like widely revered as one of the best drummers ever, so he's always been brilliant. So yeah, it's just really good record. I definitely recommend you listen to it. I've got to be honest, and I think that there's been a lot of artists that I enjoy listening to that have come back later on and are still making fantastic music years after their original kind of after their original kind of breakout, you know, and their original few albums that people love, they're still making brilliant records. And I can think of some examples like Let England Shake by PJ Harvey. Like, I think her records have always been brilliant, and but that one's especially like one of my favourite records from her. And that's kind of probably like my third favourite record from her, and I think it's just this. I think it's an awesome record. Or the Jesus Mary Chain, if you've ever heard them, did a record called Damage and Joy a few years ago, which I really love. But this record, out of all kind of later records done by artists from like artists that I listen to, older artists that I listen to, like from the 90s and late 80s, kind of alternative indie rock artists, it's like my favourite new record from an older band. And my rating for it is about a 9 out of 10, because I'm just really blown away by how good it is. I think it's fantastic. But yeah, just listen to this record. Like, definitely make sure you listen to it, because it's absolutely brilliant. And I mean, again, you know, you'll always get the reviews that people go. I think I read a Guardian review, which said called the album The Infinite Flatness, and gave it a 2-star review. Well, apart from being a good play on words, it's not got any truth to it, in my opinion, because I think it's a brilliant record. You know, I think it's really good. So just listen to this album, because you won't be disappointed. So yeah, thank you for listening, and have a wonderful day wherever you are. Bye.